Hey everyone, I am Marsha Bullington and this is the Campfire. Today, we are going to dissect District 9-5A Division 1. A lot has changed after realignment, and here are the teams that will be competing in this district. Galveston Ball, Austin, Madison, Milby, Northside, Sharpstown, Sterling, Waltrip, and Wisdom. That is a tough 9-team district with almost all Houston ISD teams. Let's analyze those teams in our film session. Let's start off with the non-Houston ISD team, Galveston Ball. The Tornadoes were a playoff team last year and bring back first-team All-District quarterback Seth Williams. Expect Ball to be in the running for a district title. The rest of the district contains all Houston ISD teams. 6 of the remaining 8 teams moved up from Division 2 to Division 1. And good news for them is they got out of the district with state power Fort Bend Marshall and into a more formidable one. With 4 playoff spots available, Houston ISD teams have a legitimate chance to capture the last 3 of them. Sterling and Madison jump off the page at first because they both made the postseason in their district last year. They both sport productive running backs in the backfield and should be favorites to grab playoff spots. Sharpstown brings in new head coach Matthew Torres and has seen steady improvement over the last 2 years. Austin picked up 2 wins last year in district play, while Waltrip with only 1, but both teams can make some noise in this new district. Milby, Wisdom, and Northside will probably not contend for a playoff spot as they combined for only 1 win last year. However, they should all improve on last season's record and will be able to build for the future. Of all the Houston area 5A Division 1 districts, this one is the hardest one to predict for sure. Let's dig even deeper into 9-5A Division 1 with Houston Chronicle reporter John Poorman and producer Ward Sold in our district breakdown.
It's district breakdown time. We're joined Houston Chronicle reporter John Poorman. We're talking 9-5A Division 1. Very interesting district. It's mostly all HISD, and then Galveston Ball got tossed in there to make it a 9-team district. What do you feel? What are your initial thoughts on this district?
Well, there's probably a lot of happy coaches that they don't have to prepare for Fort Bend Marshall anymore. Obviously, they've been kind of the cream of the crop, against these schools in district play, over the last several years. But, that being said, it's kind of wide open. Who's going to take the district title this year? It's going to be really interesting to watch. Obviously, it's a big district, and, you're going to be diving into the district action pretty quickly. But, you look at the past history, and the last team to win a district title out of these schools was Waltrip, and that was in 2017. So someone is going to win a district title for the first time in a while, and many of these programs haven't won a district title in decades. So, it's going to be really interesting not only to watch, who can come away with this district championship, but, those 4 playoff spots, those are up for grabs. I think it's really interesting with Galveston Ball coming in. They were a playoff team last year in a really tough district with Port Arthur Memorial and Friendswood and Beaumont United. I certainly think that they have the talent to be able to compete for the playoffs. They have a returning starting quarterback with Seth Williams. So, that's an interesting addition for sure.
Next week, we're going to talk 10-5A Division 1, and that's going to have Magnolia's joining with Manville. So it should be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's going to be this is going to be one of my favorite districts to break down, I think, just because of the sheer difficulty and the different teams that are in there and the geography and everything about it is pretty fun.
Absolutely. All right, thanks for joining me, John. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, see ya.
The guys had much more to say on this district, and you can catch the entire district breakdown this Wednesday on our social media platforms. We've heard about the teams. Now let's take a look at some of the athletes to watch out for and our players on the rise. Seth Williams was the leader of the Galveston Ball Tornadoes last year. He was first team all-district as Williams threw for 1,740 yards and 17 touchdowns. Seth has a quick release and always seems to put the ball where only his receiver can catch it. Look out for him and the Toros. to make some noise in district play. Chase Devon should be atop the leaderboard in rushing yards for 9-5A. The Madison back ran for a school record 1,643 yards last year and also scored 14 touchdowns. Devon is the kind of back you have to get down early because once he blows through the initial hole, he'll be tough to track down. Look for Chase to be chased a lot this year on the gridiron. Another first-team all-district back returning to cause havoc his senior year is Cameron Patterson from Houston Sterling. The Raiders running back ran for 458 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. He would get the tough yardage in the red zone and also managed to get the long-distance scores when he broke through initial contact. The district newcomer of the year last year was Galveston Ball wide receiver Will Cianfrini. The youngster caught 33 balls for over 500 yards. Even as a sophomore last year, he was Seth Williams' go-to guy as he went up and made the plays needed to move the chains. Cianfrini is also a standout on the Toros basketball squad. One of those guys just might be the key piece to get their team into the postseason. It takes some top-notch coaches to get the best out of these guys. And our Ward Fasold caught up with a brand new head coach in the district. Matthew Torres takes over at Sharpstown this coming season, and he talks to Wiz about the challenges he faces in this district in our Media Day segment.
All right, Media Day, 9-5A Division II, and I am joined with Sharpstown new head coach Matt Torres. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the job. And as soon as you got the job, you get thrown into a new district that looks a little favorable for you guys. Talk about the district and how you might survey it.
Well, it's definitely been a change. As far as being favorable, I mean, that's hearsay. We still have a lot of challenges in front of us. This being, my first year as the new head coach here at Sharpstown. The last 2 years, I was the offensive coordinator. This past season, we showed a lot of growth. We were much more competitive in every game. We went from 1-8 to 3-7, which, on paper doesn't look like much, but when you look at past scores and we're only 9 points away from being in the playoffs, I think our kids now have a strong grasp of what it's going to take to be successful. They want it more. Now they actually look at the schedule and look at their opponents and start looking at, social media. What kind of players do they have? Who do they have? Instead of just lining up and saying, who do we play this week? Now they're actually taking the initiative to learn about their opponents and asking us questions and really wanting to dive into it more to be successful.
Perfect. I tell you what, thanks for joining us. It was great to meet you, Coach, and good luck the rest of the season.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
An interesting fact about Coach Torres is that he has 2 brothers that are head coaches in Texas high school football as well. You'll hear more about that later on this week when we play the entire interview on our social media platforms. That's going to do it for this week's show. Be sure to join us next week when we move to 10-5A Division I. I can tell you right now, that district is going to be a bear for the 9 teams in it. You can keep up with everything on the high school football scene on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. Until next time, I am Ashley Billington, and thank you for watching The Campfire.